David, give us a feel for your organization within the state of Washington.
I work at Consolidated Technology Services. We're an infrastructure provider for other agencies as customers of us. We have the Department of Transportation, Revenue Licensing as example, that are major customers of ours. And we sit at the enterprise level, and we have a federated security structure where we rely on the other security teams to take the actions from alerts that we would provide. But we watch the traffic that comes in and out from a single connection.
That's okay. And so tell us about the organization that you have in order to provide that service.
My team is a security operations center for the state enterprise. We keep an eye on all of the traffic that comes in and out of the primary edge points from the network as the utility provider to the other customer agencies. We specialize in watching for indicators of compromise and then providing alerts to customer agencies to action upon.
And tell us how you decided that standard SIM, security incident and event management, wasn't enough for the role that you had.
We found that we needed to validate the alerts that we were seeing, and the SIM provides background information as far as source, destination, and basic protocols, but when you have to look at exactly what the traffic is doing, then you have to get down to the packet level and see specifically what actions that traffic is doing. And that gives you the validation point to provide an alert to an agency that you know is actionable.
So describe I guess what you were looking for and what you found.
We're looking at a way of providing agencies information that we knew was actionable to them, that presented to them something other than just here's an indicator that may or may not be worth. I'll start over. We were looking for a way to provide an alert to agencies that we knew was actionable to them upon receipt. And the NetWitness product, sorry, Christina. We're looking for a way to provide actionable alerts to agencies in a way that we knew had been validated through the use of packet inspection. And this product gave us that ability to identify precisely what the data was attempting to do without having to guess at it. And in a simple manner and efficient manner for us to quickly validate what we were seeing in other tools.
Well, what sort of other tools and security infrastructure did you already have in place?
We have a variety of security products that are in place right now with IPS, logging, firewalls, application-aware firewalls, and remote access tools. And they're all being pointed to our logging environment for correlation aggregation. And then the analytics tool allows us to take a look at that traffic from an aggregate standpoint and quickly and efficiently see what suspicious behavior might be occurring across that infrastructure.
There are lots of logging and packet capture tools. What specifically about RSA Security Analytics did you like?
For us, it was the ease of the UI and the ability for us to quickly create alerts that were specific to past experiences with incidents that we've had. And so we've gone in and we've customized the tool such that our analysts are more efficiently able to go through and learn from what's happened before and act upon seeing that intelligence again.
And how has deploying RSA Security Analytics impacted your organization and the service delivery model?
Our operations center is new to Washington State, and so we've received terrific feedback from our customer agencies from the efforts that we've provided to them of the alerts that we're doing. This is all new, so they have not received this kind of intelligence in the past from the central IT provider.
So how has Security Analytics impacted your security operations and the services that you deliver?
This Security Operations Center is a new organization for Washington State, and the feedback from our customers has been very positive. We provide them the alerts that then they're able to take an action upon, and this is new for them. They haven't received this kind of intelligence in the past from the central IT provider. So the the feedback that we've received from our efforts has been terrific, and we're really happy with providing the service, and it's something that I feel blessed as far as the work that I do in seeing a significant impact in the state enterprise.
What advice would you have for anybody who's in the process of or thinking about deploying security analytics?
I would say deploy it in your organization and see what you can see in the reports that it provides. For us, we saw immediate impact upon deployment where it was giving us visibility that was at a greater depth than we've had before. And that turned into an executive report that we were then able to pivot from and do a procurement. The lessons learned from our deployment are that we've gotten into an operational cycle of taking the incidents that we've had, reviewing them, and then creating alerts within the product so that we can learn from them and be more efficient and faster at identifying future problems and ideally avoidance of incident. This has been of great benefit for us.
And what's next in your battle to secure your enterprise?
Continuing to be more efficient at identifying the indicators and always learning from mistakes. And then, of course, looking to broaden our visibility within the Washington State enterprise by getting more visibility into the agency networks so that we can continue to provide information to them of indicators that they may not be seeing themselves.
What types of security solutions and tools did you already have in your arsenal?
We had all the classic security tools already deployed in our infrastructure. We had the firewalls, IPS, a common logging environment. But what we didn't have was a way to look at that information more efficiently, to validate what we were seeing in that information without going through a lot of effort to pull logs from the different tools and pull packet captures from the different tools and then analyze that. So we had a gap there in our ability to efficiently analyze the information that we were pulling in.
So what type of security solutions and tools did you already have in your arsenal?
We had a classic security infrastructure deployment of firewalls and IPS and a common logging infrastructure in place. What we didn't have was the ability to easily review this information without inefficiently going to the different devices and pulling packet information from each of those pieces of data and then looking at it as a whole without going through a lot of effort. And so deploying this product allowed us to quickly and more efficiently take a look at all that information at an aggregate level and then validate what we were seeing from those different pieces of information.
So what types of security solutions and tools did you already have in your arsenal?
We had a fairly mature security infrastructure already in place with firewalls, IPS, a common logging infrastructure, and proxy services. What we didn't have was the ability to quickly validate the information that we were receiving from these tools to get alerts out to agencies in as fast a manner possible so that they can action the intelligence that we're giving them. And with security, time is such a critical factor that we're looking at getting information out as quick as we can, but also make it as viable as possible. We ran a proof of concept. Eric, suggested the tool. We ran a proof of concept, reported upon our results, and the information that we saw in the reports was sufficient enough that we could roll that up to executive management and then go through the procurement process to get the tool in place, because it definitely met our needs for having the validation information available from all the different pieces of equipment that we were receiving data from.
So what motivated you to select RSA Security Analytics for your organization?
We took a look at the tool in the proof of concept, and the reports were substantial. It provided the information that we needed from all the different security infrastructure components in a way that made it efficient for our analysts to get information out to our customer agencies quickly, and also make sure that that information was valid to them to action upon, which of course adds credibility to our Security Operations Center as being one that is, it adds credibility to our Security Operations Center as being a viable resource to them from the IT provider.
What advice do you have for anyone else who's considering security analytics?
I would say run a proof of concept of the technology and see what comes out of the reports. Take a look and see what visibility you're now getting that you haven't received before, because the information is enlightening.
So what advice do you have for anyone else considering security analytics?
I would say to deploy the tool in a proof of concept fashion and get the visibility that you maybe haven't had before. The reports that come back from the tool can be very enlightening as far as what data connections you have that you may not have been aware of and what occurrences are.
So what advice do you have for anyone else considering security analytics?
I would say run the tool in proof of concept fashion to get the visibility where maybe you haven't had it prior. The reports that come out of the tool can be very enlightening, and for us, we produced a report to our executive management that helped foster us a procurement to get the technology in place, and it added a great deal of credibility to our Security Operations Center as a viable resource for the customer agencies.
So what lessons have you learned from the deployment?
We're always looking to be more efficient in our alerting to agencies and also to make sure that the information that we provide to them is accurate and viable for the actions that we're asking them to take. So what we do is we review the incidents that we've seen come through and then add that technology back into the analytic product so that we can more efficiently identify the indicators of compromise prior to an event occurring, where before we were in a more reactive stance.
What's next in your battle to secure your enterprise?
Right now we're gathering intelligence from our security infrastructure in our security analytics products, and what we're looking at doing is getting more visibility into the state agency networks where we haven't had that historically here in Washington State. Agencies have conducted their own networks within their control, and so it's changing the culture here where we get the visibility at the enterprise level that we haven't had before into the agency networks. And so that's my number one priority, is getting that visibility, because with the visibility, then you can see the indicators in a much more efficient manner.